Hello, good morning. Good morning, all of you. So, in the previous lecture, we have discussed one problem relating to money market instrument. So, in the current lecture, we'll discuss one more problem. This is one more problem in the money market instruments. A money market instrument with face value of rupees 100 and discount yield of 6% will mature in 45 days. You are required to calculate current price of the instrument, bond equivalent yield, and effective annual return. Okay. So in the previous lecture, I have explained briefly about current price of the instrument and bond equivalent yield. Once again, I'll elaborate that concept. So that you will avoid the form using the formulas and understand how the problem is solved using logically. Right. So generally, what is general principle is that what is the general principle? How will you calculate the redemption amount? Investment amount. So general principle is that investment amount plus income for the holding period, income for the period held, income for the period investment is 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 held is equal to redemption proceeds. Investment redemption proceeds is equal to investment redemption proceeds. This is the general principle, my concept. So I have invested 120 rupees and I got 30 rupees for the period, whatever I have invested. It may be 3 months or it may be 6 months or it may be 9 months. For I have invested 120 rupees and I got 30 rupees income for whatever period I have invested. Total I got 150. Okay. My investment amount is 120. My income is 30 rupees. My total receipts will be 150 rupees. This is common concept. This is a common concept. Okay. So investment amount, this will be a common concept. Investment amount plus income for the period investment is held is equal to investment redemption procedure. This is a general principle. Now, if we convert the same principle into the money market terminology, the terminology will change ultimately, but the concept will same. Whether you are using generally or for the money market instruments, the concept or the fundamental principles will be same. Only the nomenclature or the terminologies will change. So the same concept, if I use with respect to the money market instruments, the same concept if I use with respect to the money market instruments. Money market instrument. So rather than investment amount, what I call it as a price, current price of the instrument, current price of the instrument. Next, income for the holding period, that will be same. Income for the period held, income for the period investment is held or instrument is held is equal to face value. That redemption proceeds since all money market instruments are issued at discount and redeemed at face value. All money market instruments are issued at discount and redeemed at face value. So therefore, the redemption process, I am calling it as a face value. Okay, right. Now, this is the general principle, and when you convert into money market instrument, this is how the terminologies will change. Okay, right. Now, if this interest income, if you compare this interest income, okay, if you compare this income with the current price, it is called as a bond equivalent yield. If you compare this income with the face value, it is called as a discount yield. That is what the money market terminology is. Same income, if you compare it with the current market price and compute a ratio, then you'll get bond equivalent yield. If you compare with face value, then what you'll get is a discounted yield. Okay, that is the concept. So if income is compared with the price, it is called as bond equivalent yield. If income is compared with the face value, it is called as a discount yield. Okay, right. So income, if income compared with the, so income compared with the, so for computing the bond equivalent yield, or bond equivalent is computed, bond equivalent yield is computed by comparing the interest income, with the price, Okay, discount yield is computed by comparing the income with the face value. That is the difference. Okay, you no need of by adding the formulas, just understand the concept. Bond equivalent is computed comparing the income with the price, and discount yield is computed by comparing the income with the face value, right? But here one more point is there. The income what I referred here in this formula, the income what I referred here and the income what I referred in this equations or concept is slightly different. Why the slightly different? What is the difference between that income and this income? Both incomes are not the same. There is a difference between those two incomes. So what is the difference between that? Normally, the mature holding period of the duration of various money market instruments. So duration of various money market instruments will be different. This is common. Duration of various money market instruments will be different. Duration of various money market instruments will be different. Some may be with 45 days, some may be with 90 days, etc. Since the duration of money market instruments are different, in order to compare two investments, better to compare in the annual terms. Better to compare in the annual terms. I cannot compare a yield of 45 days with yield of 90 days. Okay. So therefore, for the sake of comparison, to facilitate comparison, bond equivalent yield and discount yield is converted into per annum basis. Okay. So therefore, with a view to enable comparison, bond equivalent yield and discount yield are computed on a per annum basis, so that it can be so that they can be used to compare with different bonds. So 45 days bond also per annum 6% yield, 90 days bond also per annum 6% yield. Therefore we can compare this, both are on a per annum basis, both are on a similar footing. To compare, both should be on a similar footing. So 45 days income I cannot compare with 90 days. Therefore 45 days income I have to convert into per annum, and 90 days income also I have to convert into per annum. Then on per annum basis I can make comparison. Okay. So 45 days income is converted into per annum and 90 days income is also converted into per annum basis. Now both are on per annum basis. Therefore I can compare because both are on equal footing. That is the important point. Therefore, just for the purpose of comparison, to enable or facilitate comparison, discount yield and bond yield are computed on a per annum basis. So therefore, the income as used in the so accordingly, the income used in the calculation of bond equivalent yield and discount yield are the income per annum, per annum. Whereas the income used in the calculation, the income used to calculate the difference, the income calculated as a difference between price and face value is the income for the holding period. So therefore, here I am very clear. This is for the period investment is held. Therefore, this is a holding period income. Whereas this income is a per annum income. Therefore, don't blindly take the same income. Okay, you'll get the wrong answer. Okay, for computing the bond equivalent yield and discount yield, we have to take the income per annum only. But for computing the price and face value, we have to take income for the investment yield. Do you understand the logic, ma? Sir, why these are computed on a per annum basis? That is the logic I have given. So why bond equivalent yield and discount yield are computed on a per annum basis? Only to facilitate comparison. Okay, right, that is the reason. So having considered these formulas, so once you got this fundamental concept, now we can calculate, given the information what they want to calculate. So look at this, what they have given: a money market instrument with face value of ₹100 and discount yield of 6% will mature in 45 days. You are required to calculate current price of the instrument. So current price of the instrument, how will you calculate current price of the instrument? Okay, look at this, current price of the instrument. So where is that current price of the instrument is lying in the formulas? So in the formulas, current price is equal to current price plus income for holding period. I'll use IHP. Income for holding period is equal to face value. Income for holding period is equal to face value. If I want the current price, face value minus income for holding period, I'll get. Face value minus income for holding period, I'll get. So face value they have already given in the question 100. Now what I have to calculate is income for holding period. For that I'll use WN1. I'll use WN1 working note 1 to calculate income for the holding period. Okay. So WN1 income for holding period. So income for holding period. Sir, how will you calculate income for holding period? They have given discount yield. Look at this. They have given discount yield. The discount yield how much? 6%. Discount yield is how much? 6%. Therefore, you can calculate it. So therefore, discount yield is calculated with respect to what? Discount is calculated with respect to the face value. Discount is calculated with respect to the face value. And for computing the discount yield, what we have to take? We have to take interest per annum, income per annum, income per annum, income per annum, and discount yield per annum divided by face value. So therefore here discount yield per annum they have given 6%. Income per annum we don't know. Income per annum we don't know. And face value they have given 100 rupees. Therefore income per annum is equal to 6% into 100 rupees. Therefore income per annum is equal to rupees 6. Income per annum is equal to rupees 6. And now what we have to calculate? We have to calculate not the income for the period. We have to calculate income for holding period. We have to calculate income for the holding period, not per annum. What is the holding period? What is the holding period? Holding period is 45 days. Holding period is 45 days. This is per annum. This is per annum. So this 6 rupees is per annum. This 6 rupees is per annum. I want holding period of 45 days. So how much is income for 45 days? How much is income for 45 days? Okay. Look at this concept. So annum, per annum, holding period. Annum, holding period. So per annum is holding period is 45 days. Therefore, per annum I am taking 360 days. 8 with round figure. 45, 90, 180, 360 like that. Okay, 45, 90, 180, 360 like that. Okay, so therefore I am taking round figure of 360 days. So for 360 days, how much is the income? For 360 days, how much is the income? Rupees 6 is the income. For 360 days, rupees 6 is the income. Then how much is the income for 45 days? Just do our routine calculations. Just do our routine cross multiplication. So it will be 6 into 45 divided by 365. 6 into 45 divided by 365. 6 into 1 by 8. 45 into 8. 6 into 1 by 8. That will be 6 into 1 by 8. 6 into 1 by 8. That will be 6 divided by 8. So 6 divided by 8. 6 divided by 8. You will get 0.75. So interest for the holding period will be 0.75. I got this as a working note 1. I got this as a working note 1. I got it. Okay, working note 1. I got it. Income for the holding period. Income for the holding period. Understand? You understand, ma? In the current price, we are using income for the holding period, whereas in the discounted yield, we have to use income per annum. Okay. So what is computed? The income computed using the discount yield is the income per annum. But the income required to be substituted in the current price formula is a income for the holding period. Okay. Clear, ma? So income that is computed using the discount yield. Okay. Income computed using the discount yield. Income computed using the discount yield. Income computed using the discount yield is per annum income. Per annum income. But the income to be used in the current price formula, is the income for the holding period. Therefore, per annum income has to be converted into holding period income before substituting the formula. Therefore, per annum income to be converted into holding period interest, holding period income to before substituting the for the purpose of substitution in the current price formula. For the purpose of substitution in the current price formula. Okay, so these are all conceptual way of learning, understanding what we are doing in each and every step. Okay, understanding what we are doing in each and every step. Okay, so this is logical. I am holding investment only for the 30 days. Therefore, I'll get income only for the 30 days. But bond equivalent yield and discount equivalent yield, they will quote per annum basis. Why they will quote per annum basis? Because to facilitate comparison. Therefore, directly whatever the interest income we have computed by using discount yield, directly we cannot substitute it in the formula. So whatever the interest income we have computed by using the discount yield, directly we cannot substitute in the formula, because that will be in per annum basis and this will be holding period. Therefore, this we have to convert into holding period, then we can substitute it. Okay. So directly the income computed using the discount yield directly cannot be substituted in the current price formula, because that is per annum. This is for holding period. Therefore, per annum income convert into holding period income, then substitute in the formula. So now I'll get current price is equal to 100 minus 0.75. It will be 99.25. It will be 99.25. My current price is 99.25. Okay. So this is how we can learn the formula. No need of using much of the formulas, but understand the concept. This current price is 99.25. Okay. Right. Now, Next concept is bond equivalent yield. So as I told you, bond equivalent yield and discount yield both are computed using the per annum interest only. Both are computed using the per annum interest. Bond equivalent yield and discount yield both are computed using the per annum interest. Okay. So therefore, bond equivalent yield is equal to same income per annum divided by, rather than face value, we'll take price. That's it. Okay, rather than face value, we'll take the price. Look at this. Bond equivalent is computed by comparing the income with the price. By comparing the income with the price. So therefore, bond equivalent is equal to income per annum. Already we got it. Income per annum already we got it 6. Price already we got it 99.25. Therefore, 6 divided by 99.25. Okay. 6 divided by 99.25. 6 divided by 99.25. 6 divided by 99.25. If I put it to percentage terms, it will be 6.05 percentage. It will be 6.05 percentage. 6 divided by 99.25 is equal to how much? Is equal to how much? 6.05 percent. 6 divided by 99.25 is equal to 6.05 percent. This is one answer. So this is one main answer. I am highlighting in the green color box. This is the main answer what they have required in the question. The rest are all working notes. Okay, right. So current price and bond discount yield. Current price and bond equivalent yield we have computed. Now, effective annual return. So before computing this effective annual return, we should be very clear that bond equivalent yield and discount equivalent yield, they are converted just for the purpose of comparison, to enable comparison, but they are not the actual yield earned by the investor for holding the period for holding the investor throughout the year. Okay. Bond equivalent yield, discount equivalent yield is not the actual yield which an investor holds, which an investor obtains if he holds the investment throughout the year. No, don't confuse. Bond equivalent yield per annum. So, sir, if I hold money market instrument throughout the year, if I hold money market instrument throughout the year, sir, is it the bond equivalent yield I am getting or the discount yield? No. Okay, you will get more than that. You will get more than that. Why? Because they are not the actual returns. They are only converted to facilitate comparison. They are only converted to facilitate comparison. Okay. So effective yield here, effective yield, effective annual return in the sense, money market instruments or short-term instruments, their duration is less than 1 year, say 45 days or 90 days. Okay. So therefore, if I hold one, therefore I cannot hold one money market instrument throughout the year. I cannot hold one money market instrument throughout the year. Bond equivalent yield and discount equivalent yield, whatever the rate they have quoted, that can be obtained by the investor if he holds the same investment throughout the year. If he holds the same investment throughout the year, but the maturity period of money market instrument is less than the year. Okay, therefore what he has to do, so after maturity of one investment, he has to invest in some other investment, redeem the one money market instrument and have to invest in another money market instrument. So therefore, in simple words, bond equivalent yield and discount yield are simple interest, not compound interest. Whereas effective annual return is the compound interest. Effective annual return is the compound interest. Okay, right. Look at this concept. Now I'll explain what is the this thing. What is the effective interest per annum? Effective interest per annum. Okay, right. So the duration of money market instruments is less than a year. Okay, that much we know. Okay, so duration of money market instrument. Okay, duration of money market instruments. Duration of money market instruments is less than a year. Less than a year. So therefore, if an investor wants to hold money, if an investor wants to hold money market instruments throughout the year, if an investor wants to hold the money market instruments throughout the year, then he has to continuously redeem and reinvest the instruments. Then he has to continuously roll out, that is redeem. Then he has to continuously roll out. Then he has to continuously roll out the instruments, roll out the investments. That is to say continuously redeem and reinvest. Redeem one investment and redeem one investment and reinvestment in another instruments. Reinvest in another instrument. Redeem one instrument and reinvest in another instrument. Redeem one money market instrument and invest in another instrument. Because the maturity is less than 1 year. If I want to hold continuously for 365 days, what I have to do? Continuously I have to roll out. So invest one investment, after 45 days or 90 days get some amount and again reinvest it, so that you can continuously hold one or the other money market instruments throughout the year. Okay, so if you hold like that, what is the return you will get? Is it the bond equivalent or discount equivalent? No. Okay, it is the effective annual return. Okay, it is the effective annual return. Okay, right. So if an investor holds the money market instruments in this way throughout the year, if an investor holds one or the other money market instrument, one or the other instrument throughout the year, one or the other instrument throughout the year, throughout the year, the total return he obtains, is called effective annual return. Is called effective annual return. Okay, so not just the formula, I have to understand what is meant by effective annual return, under what circumstances an investor will get effective annual return. An investor will get effective annual return if he continuously rolls out. So purchases one money market instruments, hold for 45 days or 90 days, redeem it and again reinvest it. So like that he has to continuously roll out it. So in this process, whatever the total income he got throughout the year across all the money market instruments he hold, so the aggregate income he get, aggregate income he obtained is called the effective annual return. Aggregate income he obtained is called the effective annual return. It is not the bond yield or discounted yield. So they are only for the purpose of comparison, you are converting into per annum basis. It is not the total return what we get. It is not the total return what we get. This is only for the purpose of comparison. It's a reference figure. That's it. Okay. It is not the actual return earned by the investor. The actual return earned by the investor is this effective annual return. Okay. Right. So now in our case, without using the formula, first I'll explain with the concept, how will you calculate the effective annual return? So how will you calculate the effective annual return? Look at this. So our money market instrument matures in 45 days. Our money market instrument matures in 45 days. So therefore I'll take it. Okay, John first. So I'll take it here. So first I'll take John 1st to Feb 15, 45 days. John 1st to Feb 15, 45 days. Okay. So John 1st to Feb 15, opening date, amount invested, okay. Opening date, amount invested, okay. Date, amount invested, okay. Period of investment, okay. Period of investment, amount invested, okay. Money market instrument 1, MM1, money market instrument 1, okay. MMI1, money market instrument 1, okay. I hold the money market instrument 1. I hold the money market instrument from John 1st to February 5th, John 1st to Feb 15, 45 days. How much is the amount I have invested? Look at this. Current price is 99.25. Current price is 99.5. That is what I have invested. 99.25 current price. That is what I have invested. This is the opening. Okay. This is the opening. Now, this is the opening. Now, next is the interest income for the holding period. 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 Okay, income for the holding period. So how much is the income I'll get for the holding period, ma? So here, when compared to what is the yield which you are using the price, bond equivalent yield. Bond equivalent yield is the yield which we are using with respect to the price. So this is per annum, right? This is per annum. For the sake of comparison, I use it per annum, but I'm holding it for 45 days only. What is for 45 days? So bond equivalent yield is per annum. This is per annum. So what is the holding period yield? So what is the holding period yield? So 6.05 is for 360 days. How much is for 45 days? 6.05 is for 360 days. How much is for 45 days? That is 6.05% into 1 by 8. 6.05 into 1 by 8. So therefore 6.05 divided by 8. You will get 0.76%. Therefore, what is the income for the holding period? So 0.76% of the opening investment. Of the opening investment or price, 0.65% of the opening investment or price. That 6.205 is per annum only for the purpose of comparison. But if I am holding only for 45 days, how much is the income I'll get? 0.76%. Okay, 0.76%. I'll get this. Okay, I'll get this point. Okay, ma, right? Look at this. This is the income for the holding period. Next, closing redemption amount. Redemption. Okay, redemption. So this is January 1st opening. If I take date January 1st. So the redemption date will be Feb 15th. The redemption date will be Feb 15th. Okay, the redemption date will be February 15th. February 15th, because now it is matured only for 45 days. It is matured only in 45 days. Okay. So what is the amount? What is the date and the amount? What is the date and the amount? Date and amount obtained. Date and redemption amount. Date and redemption amount obtained. Date amount obtained. So how much will obtain both? That is redemption amount is equal to face value whatever I have invested and the interest income. 100 rupees will obtain. That is what this point. This is called as a face value. As I told you, this is called as the face value. Okay, this is called as a face value. Okay, ma? So this is how we'll obtain the bond. Right. Now this is first cycle is completed. So first cycle is completed. First cycle is completed. Now the second cycle, February 16th. Because I want to, if I want to hold the continuously one or the other instrument, I have to use money market instrument to another instrument. Continuously I want to hold. How much I can invest? Whatever I have obtained in the first investment, I'll invest it. On this also I'll get the same 76. And my maturity date is 31st March. It will be March 31st. 45 days, 1.5 month I am taking. 45 days, 1.5 month I am taking. March 31st. So how much I'll get? Same concept. Whatever I have got obtained, 100.76. Next, April 1st. April 1st. How much I'll invest? Whatever I have obtained on 31st March, I'll invest on this. So on this amount I'll get. So this will be May 15th. 45 days. May 15th. Okay. So again, May 16th I'll invest. The same amount. Okay. So how much income I'll get? So what is the redemption amount? June 30th. 45 days, 1.5 month. June 30th. So I'll get this much of amount. Next, July 1st I invest. July 1st again I invest the amount and I'll get the amount. July 1st if I invest, I'll get August 15th. 1.5 month. Okay. July 1st, August 15th, 1.5 month. 45 days is 1.5 month. Okay. Right. This July for August 15th. Next, I invest in August 16th. Again, I invest in August 16th. So August 16th means September 30th, 1.5 month. September 30th, 45 days or 1.5 month. September 30th, I'll get this total amount. Okay. Next, October 1st, I'll invest this amount. Okay. October 1st means November 15th. Okay. Right. This will be the amount. So if I invest on November 16th, so what I'll obtain? So this will be December 31st, 1.5 month or 45 days. That's it. Jan 1st I have started and December I have closed it. You can use April to March financial year also. But anyway, so 8 cycles will be happened. I have observed it. Total 8 cycles has happened. Here. 8 cycles. MM4, MM5, MM6, MM7, but under MM8. So total 8 cycles has happened. So out of all the 8 cycles, what is the total income we got? Across all the 8 cycles. The total income we got is 6.2. What is the amount initially invested during the year? At the year starting, I have invested 99.25. Okay, the total in a year starting, I have invested 99.25. So 6.20 total investment at the end of the year, total income at the end of the year divided by amount invested at the beginning of the year. So this will be look at this point. This is called as effective yield, effective per annum. Okay, effective yield, effective annual return. This is the effective annual return. Okay, 6.24% is the effective annual return. So the total interest income I got on the opening investment. Okay, so total yearly income, total income during the year, divided by amount invested at the beginning of the year. Amount invested at the beginning of the year. Total amount in total income during the year divided by amount invested at the beginning of the year. This is 99.25. That this total return is called 6.24 is the effective annual return. This is what the point. Okay. So this is how money market instruments, since it is a short-term instruments, if I want to hold over a year, this is not bond equivalent yield or discount yield. So bond equivalent yield simply multiplies this into 8 times, 0.75 into 8, 0.75 into 8. That means they are multiplying, they are using the simple interest, but here it is a compound interest. Here it is a compound interest. Second cycle, I'll get second cycle, I'll get 0.76% or 0.75%, not on this 99, I'll get on 100. Third cycle, I'll get same 0.75%, not on 100, on 100 and 0.76. That means my amount of investment is changing. That means this income in the first cycle, is reinvested in the second cycle. That income in the first cycle is reinvested in the second cycle. That is what is the compound interest. Whereas discount yield and bond equivalent yield, assume that this is the investment throughout the year. No, throughout the year my investment is changing continuously, because interest I'm reinvesting. Whereas bond equivalent yield considers only this point, and discount yield considers only this point. Bond equivalent yield and discount yield, they consider only that investment as constant investment throughout the year, but that is not correct. Okay, money market instrument will not have a 1 year duration, it will be less than 1 year duration. In that case, when you roll out it, you will get more than that amount. That is what is this effective annual return. Okay, ma? So effective annual return 8 times compounding. My sincere suggestion is don't restrict to this formula alone. So this is the formula. In single span you can get it, in a fraction of second in a formula you can get it, but you don't understand what is happening in that problem. In order to realize this return, in order to realize this 6.24 return, what should I do? What is the condition? So you have to roll out this continuously. Look at this 8 times. How I got 8? So there are 8 periods of 45 days during the year. During the year, there are 8 45 days. That means our investment is compounded 8 times during the year. 8 times we have rotated the instrument. 8 times we have rotated the instrument. That's what that formula says. Okay. So formulas, okay, for the sake of examination, to save the time, substitute the formula. But when you are learning the subject for the very first time, understand the difference between bond equivalent yield and effective annual return. Okay. So what is the bond equivalent yield? That is also per annum basis, but that is computed only for the purpose of comparison, not for the purpose of the investor. Okay, how much return investor will get? So how much return an investor will get if he holds money market instrument throughout the year? So you have to continuously roll out. So this return is called effective annual return. So that return is called effective annual return. You can take a screenshot of this. You can pause the screen. And take a photo of this in the mobile. Okay. Or you can pause the screen and copy the answer. So the explanation for that, now before using the formula, first take out this solution rough calculations, whatever we have used to compute the rough calculations we have used to compute this 2 answers. First two answers, whatever is the data used to compute current price of the instrument and effective annual return. You can pause the screen and copy it, or you can take a photo out of it. If you are watching through laptop, okay, you can take a photo through mobile, or if you are watching in mobile itself, then you can pause the screen and copy the answer. Okay, right. So this is the answer. And next, you can copy this explanation also. No doubt use the formulas, but understand it, what the formula says. Very important concept. Why the bond yield and discount yield is quoted as per annum basis. And moreover, the difference between income used in the current price formula and the income used in the bond equivalent yield and discount yield formula. Income used in the current price formula and the income used in the bond equivalent yield and discount yield formula. Both incomes are different. That is for the holding period. This is per annum. Then why it is per annum, sir? For the purpose of comparison. What is effective annual return, sir? Effective annual return is different from bond equivalent yield and discount yield. This is the effective annual return. If I hold one or the other money market instrument throughout the year, how much I'll get? That is the effective annual return. Okay. You can pause the screen and copy the answer, or you can take a photo out of it. Now, you can also take this calculations Excel sheet, how I got that 6.25% annual return. So without using the formula, purely logically, you have to get the answer. Then only you can understand what happened. Therefore, you have to suggest the investor that you have to continuously roll out. As a fund manager or as a fund manager or a mutual fund investor, mutual fund manager, you have to continuously roll out. Then only you can ensure this return to your client. Okay, you can put this return in the hands of the client only if you are able to continuously roll out it. Okay, that is the important point. Just purchasing one money market instrument and holding it and redeeming it, you will not get this return. If you promise this return to the investor at the time of taking into the subscription of mutual fund, then definitely as a fund manager, you have to continuously do this rollout. Okay, then only you can ensure this return to your investor. That is the conceptual understanding we want. Anyway, all these calculations will be done by the computer. In your reality, all the calculations will be done by the computer. As a fund manager, what I have to do? I have to simply continuously roll out the instrument. Okay, right. That's it.